Education is the most powerful weapon. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Well said, Nelson Mandela. Yes, and we can see the change. As per Gandhi said, be the change. Yes, be the change that you want to see in this world. So we are feeling that change. And how is that change brought? Yes, that change is because of our intense, deep study of vocabulary. Vocabulary, the building blocks of the language. Vocabulary which adds new words to it, new flavor to your life, and new spice to things. Let's begin with the words for today. There are many students who have given the feedback that they want a recap every time. So today first I begin with a recap of the words that I have taken for the last 3 days, right? So go through these words if you have missed any, and if you feel that you need these words in any respect, in any problem, you could ask me. This was the just 3 days back recap that I am doing. The word wrangle, whataboutry, washout, veritable, and vendetta. Right, the words have been taken from Hindu article section, from editorial section, and from different news sections too. The words which could ring a bell in your mind and you'll be able to remember them forever. Taking up the next word for today, that is upbeat, being very optimistic, unsubstantiate, unmistakable, equivocal, underwhelming, underpin, and unconventional, something which is not traditional, right? Next word that we have taken, it's uncivil, very common word, trajectory, tokenism, testimony, and tangible, something which you can count, which you can depend on. The next word, tailspin. Tailspin is becoming very chaotic, very confusing. It's a breakdown or a crack up or something. It's synagogue, from the People's Assembly, a group of people. Surveillance is close monitoring of something. Strident is being very loud, very raspy in the tone of the passage can be used. And stipulation is condition in which there is great collaboration of the things, right? The next words that we have taken for the next class, the last class for yesterday, that was standoff, staggered, defect in a walking. The word spur, that means a fast movement, moving at a very great pace or pace, and the speed is too much. The word sovereignty, that is a state in which you're very autonomous in your being, self-governed, like talking of India as a sovereign state. The word snub is something which is an example of, ignoring somebody, not paying attention, just giving a cold shoulder, or cut me dead, the idiom that we used for this. The words of yesterday that we did was slump. Slump is a price, we have a price hike. This is a downfall in the price. Slender is very thin and delicate. Shambles is totally destroyed part, which is in pieces, ruins, and dilapidations. Semblance is just appearance, which is a copy of something exactly looking the same. Rudimentary is fundamentals, the basics of something. Rudderless is lacking the clear sense of your aims and your target is not clear about it. The 4 very important word, retrospected, from the word retro, that is moving backward and going in the past events. Resolute, very firm and determined in your decision. Resilience is flexibility, pliability for something. And reiterate is recap something, capture that thing again. That is the word here for this, right? Next words. This was the last class, the last sheet that I had discussed with you, the last slide. That is reckon. You have to reckon the value or the destruction caused by an earthquake. That is count, evaluate, try to find out approximate estimated value. Reap is to harp, to take out the fruits, the gain or the profit of something. Rational is reasoning, using your mind is rational. Quad is impair or harm something, spoil something. Purge is destruction, trying to get rid of something, that is destruction. And proscribe is forbid, not allow, it's totally banned by the things, by the government. And the last word that I was talking of, because this word was from the word taken from Aristotle's Poetics, one of the famous books. He talks of catharsis, purgation, purification. See, what is actually purgation? When you're loaded with your feelings and emotions, it's very important you vent out your feelings, right? It's very important you take out your feelings. It's not apple which keeps your heart healthy, or it's not Saffola which keeps your heart healthy. What keeps us is to take out what is burdening your heart. It is said by Bacon that if you find no one, then find up a statue and talk to a statue. Tell your problems to the statue. That would be really a good thing, because it will release the burden from your mind, from your heart, and you'll feel more comfortable with the things, right? And the next word that we have, prognosis. See, from the root prog, that is before, or pre, that is before, and we have the root dict, that is words. So the choice of the words in the right context, the words where you have, for example, we have the root here. For example, the root forebode. Now, for is the root which is before. Pre is a root which is before, and pro is a root which is before. Now, taking up the other words that we can link with this, dic is words, right? And that is why forebode, bode is an action, right? So that is why dict is choice of words. We have prediction, we have forecast, we have telling something beforehand that thing happens. That is called a kind of a prediction. Next words that we have for today, the word primacy. Primacy is from the word pre, that is having an eminence beforehand, with the word pre, that is before. And even the root pri, that is also before. Primacy is the fact of being preeminent or most important, which has a priority, which is precedence, which is preeminence, something which is very important right from the very beginning. It's significant, it's important, it's having a superiority, an upper hand, an upper hold for something. That is primacy. The opposite would be insignificant, inferiority, and mediocrity, obscurity, that is unknown, not known by the things. This is something which is the primary thing, most important thing, which plays a pivotal role in things, that is primacy, right? Prejudice. Prejudice is something which is harmful for you, something which is detrimental or damaging for you, is prejudice. From the root pre, which is again before, which is already there, I'm sorry, I did write it again. So, and JUD, that is judgment or swear, or justice, judgment. You make an prediction, you make a attitude, you make a judgment beforehand, before anything happens, that is prejudice. Have you heard of the famous novel of Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice? The heroine was prejudiced about the main character, the hero, Darcy, and she carries prejudice against the person, that he is very proud, he is very snobbish, vain, vainglorious person, a person who rides on his high horse, doesn't listen to anyone. That kind of a person is having a prejudice, a wrong opinion about something. So it is a damaging or injurious effect on something, naturally, because it doesn't carry something good for it, right? Predicament is very important. It's a difficult, unpleasant, embarrassing situation. It's a situation which is like very messy, very difficult. If you can use the word, it's something which is very complicated, and it is convoluted, twisted and turned kind of a situation, that is predicament. Precarity. Precarity is state of being precarious or uncertain. You're not sure. You are not sure what could happen next. A state of persistence insecurity. Continuously you are insecure about things with regard to employment, with regard to income. You know, because of this economic crisis and the depression that is going on in the world, everybody is passing through a precarious state. It is a state in which a person is not able to, you know, come out of that slum. What is that? Economic depression of life. Pluralism is multiculturalism. When various, you've heard of a salad bowl. I've written one of the famous articles on this multiculturalism. It was published in one of the journals of the JNU. It is something which is a salad bowl. We all have a multicultural state in India. How? The conditional state in which two or more states merge together, the groups that are merged together, the sources, the principles which exist together, you know, merging of various cultures and existing together in harmony is multiculturalism. As I gave a simple example of the word salad bowl, it is the merging of various vegetables, various salad fruits and things, and making up something which is really good to taste, right? So I make up a sentence for this first one. It was, your primacy should be always determined and it should be related to your studies, your selection, your vocabulary. Yes. And he was prejudiced about her. Later he realized his mistake. It was in a way, he was in a great predicament when he was caught red-handed. The precarity or precarious state is going on because of the whole world is suffering from corona pandemic, and it is a pluralism that is existing of various cultures and religions together. That is why it is multiculturalism state, a state of complete existence of authority existing together, right? Turning on to next. Now, taking up the word paradox. Paradox is twist or turn, self-contradictory statement. Now, this is to be noted in even the literary device. Right, it could be noted up in the literary device too. It is a self-contradictory statement. What you said, you contradict to that. This is called self-contradictory statement. Now, there are first word oxymoron, which means combination of two opposite words. When this combination of two opposite sentences, this is called antithesis. And when we have your own sentence you contradict, that is paradox. For example, we have the famous saying of Julius Caesar, I love Julius Caesar, of Brutus. Decimus Brutus says about his own friend Julius Caesar, I love Julius Caesar but hated his ambition. I love Julius Caesar but hated his ambition. Now, what is this? This is a paradox. This is a twist and turn. This is a sentence which is a self-contradictory statement. I hope it is clear to you what we are talking of paradox. A situation or statement that seems impossible or is difficult to understand because it contains two opposite facts or characteristics. It is contradiction, it is dichotomy, it is incongruity. You can see the roots that are hanging here very clearly, that is contra, against, di, that is two, and in, that is not as a prefix, and co is together, right? So, you would remember this in the literary device too. Paradox is a twist and turn that comes in a statement which is self-contradictory. You contradict to your own statement, right? It's a very important literary device. Do write up the examples for this. It's even, you must have read it in the other subjects too. It plays a very important role while doing the paper. right? The passages and things. It is a paradoxical statement. This is paradox. Yes, when we come across this, that what you are reading and what you're saying, the literal meaning is totally different of what you're saying to the audience and to the listener. This is a self-contradictory statement. That is why you contradict your own statement, right? So this is called paradox. You have ample number of examples, and especially in literature section where you find various examples of paradox, right? The next word, overboard. Overboard is too much mad for something, fanatical about something, delirious about something. You're too much excited and eager about something, that is fanatical and overboard. You lose your energy on things which are more bound or mad, making you mad for religion, that is overboard. This word needs to be elaborated in detail, and when you are indifferent, apathetic, no feelings, no emotions about something, then we tend to take it an opposite for it. I wanted to continue, but there are some 4-5 more things I want to discuss related to it. So in the next class, in the coming up, we are going to take up the words from here only related to paradox and continue with the words, because there was a recap, so we couldn't do much words, but many words in fact. Much and many, yes, countable and uncountable noun difference, and this can be easily grasped if you clearly note down the meanings of the words, right? For today, thank you, students.